Do you like to entertain or know someone who does? Then you're going to want to stay tuned to this episode of Design to the Nines because we are duping a Pottery Barn barrel top Lazy Susan, but we're doing it for a fraction of the cost, so stay tuned. Hello and welcome to Design to the Nines. I'm Natalie Callahan, and if this is the first time we're meeting, welcome. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial so much that by the end you hit the subscribe button and turn the notifications on, because I bring weekly tutorials with all things to do with the home, and I would really love it if you joined me. Today is part 2 in a 3-part series where I am knocking off Pottery Barn items that were on their Mother's Day gift list. While Mother's Day is fast approaching, and these would make excellent gift ideas for your mom, for your wife, for you, get a little gift to yourself. They would be great as wedding gifts or for your own home. So make sure you watch it no matter what time of year it is, because these are really awesome projects that I'm so stoked about. And they're all huge savings. All of them are saving you hundreds and hundreds of dollars together. So today's dupe, I went over to Pottery Barn, and on the Mother's Day list there was a monogrammed Lazy Susan tray that was kind of like a wine barrel top. I'm like, that would be really fun. Not only would that be really fun to have, but that would make a really good dupe. I knew from the get-go the monogram would be probably the biggest hurdle to overcome. I knew that no matter what I did, I would probably have to make the monogram darker than the original, and that was okay because I could still get definitely the essence of it. But I didn't realize what a challenge that would be, and I did a lot of homework for you guys to save you some trouble. So I have this little sample piece of wood just to show you, give you an idea of all the little different ways, because I wanted to give you guys the easiest method with the best result, that was like something really user-friendly that you could do without a lot of headache and hassle. This is actually my first attempt. My first idea was wood burning. You're going to need to practice a little bit better to get a really awesome result. So I'm going to keep working on that one and maybe even get a nicer wood burner. I tried so many different methods, but the method that I came up with and the method that I'm going to recommend to you is awesome. I'm so excited. I really think that it's going to have a great result. So what it entails, I'm going to link the funniest tutorial. It was hilarious that I watched on this technique. It was like this guy, I don't even remember, what was his name? So the first thing you need to do is design your monogram. I went to Canva and created it. I think it's Times New Roman font. It's like the identical font that Pottery Barn uses. And I got it about the size that I want. Then what you need to do is reverse the image, so when it prints out reversed of what you need. The trick here is you need to get shipping labels or some kind of Avery paper labels. I'll put all of the supplies that I use in the description below so you know where to get it. You pull off all of the stickers and all of it, so all you're left with is the wax paper itself. There's people who do the wax paper technique. For me, I found it was too flimsy, and when I fed it through the printer, it just kind of ate it up. So that did not work for me, and I would not recommend that. The next step is, if you have a laser printer at home, you can do this at home. I went to Staples and I gave them my paper. They were so nice. My local Staples here were so nice and so helpful. And you get an image that looks like that. So I'm going to cut mine down smaller. I want it to run kind of with the grain, and I'm taking into consideration that there are handles on the side. Okay, so this looks to be pretty centered, and what I'm going to do real quick is I'm going to just kind of hold this down and make a couple just very subtle pencil marks that I'm going to go back in and erase later. You probably can't see that on camera, but I can kind of see where the pencil markings are, and that will just give me an idea of where to place the medium that I'm going to be using. Now the medium I'm going to be using is Liquitex Matte Gel Medium. You've seen me use Mod Podge in some of my other tutorials. I'm a big fan of Mod Podge. Mod Podge has an image transfer product. I did not like it, at least for this application. It would make the paper stick really bad, and I just wasn't a fan. The best results I've got, and I did a lot of research on it, was this Liquitex product. I got mine off of Amazon. Such a good product. I love it, and that's what we're going to be using. I got kind of I think it's like a 1-inch craft brush. You want it to be in good condition. You don't want it to be beat up. So we're going to take our medium. We're going to be kind of generous with it at first. And we're going to get it into the area that we've marked here. And I actually kind of go both directions, just so it gets really worked into the wood. This is too much. We can't leave it like this. So now we're going to go with a grain of the wood and kind of remove some of this, so we're left with a nice smooth base for our monogram. Set that aside, and then we're going to take our monogram and line it up again. And you don't want to wiggle this around too much. You want to kind of set it down, and then once it's down, rub it in, not too hard, but with enough pressure that it sticks. And then as this dries, we're going to want to come and check back to make sure there's no wrinkling or anything, and if so, kind of smooth that out. We're going to let that sit for about 2 hours. So I've set the tray aside while the image transfer dries and sets up. And I think I forgot to mention where I got the tray. I got the tray at Hobby Lobby. It was 40% off for $24. It was beautiful, it was big, it was sturdy, the color of the wood was beautiful, and I knew that that would be a really good match for our project. So the original was actually a Lazy Susan, and I'll get to that part later. I know that that's a tray, but we are making it into a Lazy Susan. Now, I needed to solve the problem of the metal edge banding. So I went into my local Home Depot. I brought my picture with me. I kind of went searching for some kind of metal strapping. I thought I would find something there that would work. And I was right. I found several things that I thought would work. There was a section of just metal strapping that was very similar. But then when I showed it to a certain Home Depot worker, he's like, I know the perfect thing for that. And he's like, our pallets come attached in galvanized steel that was very similar to that. He's like, I cut that off every day, and I'll just give you some for free. I was like, free? Sweet. So this is free. You can buy some metal strapping if you'd like, or go into your local Home Depot, kind of tell them what this is, tell them that they get it off of the pallets, and see if they'll give it to you for free. Now, the only problem is, when he told me about it, I didn't realize that it was going to have all these kinks in it. So what I have decided to do, because there's just no way to flatten those kinks out, so what I am doing is there's these little bit longer sections that are maybe like 6 to 8 inches, and I am just going to take some tin snips and cut very carefully and try to do it as straight as possible with my tin snips. And I'm just going to cut these little sections out, and we'll just put them side by side all the way around the tray, and I think it will look just fine, and it will definitely serve our needs. So we're going to need about 8 of these metal pieces to go around my tray, because I'm leaving the handles exposed. If you wanted to cover those up, then you would need about 10. So So we could leave them as is, they're kind of cool the way they are, but to be true to duping it as close as possible, I'm going to do a little glaze over the top of mine, and all I've done is taken some leftover black paint that I had from my front door. You could use craft paint or whatever you have on hand, and I've watered it down because I'm just going to do a light glaze over it. You don't need that much. But we're really going to just wipe it on just the one side that's going to be exposed. And then take a paper towel and dab it off. You can leave a little bit of the paint to kind of just give it an aged patina. But it's just as simple as that. Okay, so our metal is dried and so is our monogram. So I am ready to pull this back and reveal the monogram, and cross your fingers and hope that everything went well and that it looks good. So everybody hold your breath right now. All right, the moment of truth. Hopefully we made Craft Daddy proud. I'm gonna pull it up very slowly. Oh, I've got this upside down. I'm gonna rotate this so we can see it the right way. So far, so good though. Very slowly. I think we did it. A DIY wood polish that I'm doing over on my IGTV channel that works with this, that I'm going to be using on this, and I'll put that over the entire thing so it should smooth it out and have a nice even finish on the entire tray. So my original plan was to screw these metal edge banding on, but the metal's too thick, it's too dense, and it's just not gonna work. So, new plan. We're gonna line it up in the middle, and I am gonna just glue it down with some E6000 and take some little clamps that I got from the dollar store to kind of hold it in place, and it will be fine. I am so excited and stoked about how this is going so far. It's been 24 hours. Our edge banding has dried with the E6000, and even though we didn't end up using the first technique, I thought that's the way DIY goes, is you have to think outside the box. You have to be able to problem solve. We have a few of those seams butted up against each other, and honestly, it's probably fine to leave it like that, but I thought it would look a little bit more finished if we took a thumbtack, which I just had in my house, so have thumbtacks, and put a little bit of that watered down black just to also give it kind of that aged patina, and we're just gonna push them in between the seams. Honestly, if you wanted to stop the project right here and call it good, you could just have a serving tray. But we are duping the Lazy Susan version over on Pottery Barn, so we're gonna turn ours into a Lazy Susan. How I'm going to do that is I ordered a Lazy Susan off of Amazon. We are going to attach this to the bottom, and we're just going to screw it on. I've got some, so this part was like $6, $6 or $8, I don't remember. And I've got 4 half-inch screws, and we're just going to attach this with screws. Okay, it works, look at that, we did it. Okay, so we now have a Lazy Susan. These edges are kind of sharp, and we don't want it to scratch up our wood surfaces if we were ever to put it on a wood table or something else that could scratch. So I just cut out a black piece of felt, and we're gonna just hot glue that down, and then we've got protection for our wood table. It is done. I think this is a pretty good dupe. I don't know, what do you think? Let me know in the comments if you think this is a good dupe. The savings are awesome, and I don't even mind that the monogram's dark instead of light. If you liked what you saw today, consider subscribing to my channel below and turning the notifications on, because I bring you weekly tutorials on all things to do with the home, and I would really love it if you joined me. Thank you so much for watching, and stay tuned for next week when I bring you part 3 of the Pottery Barn Mother's Day Look for Less dupes. So stay tuned for that next Monday.